All right, and this week in pharmaceutical news, this is episode 1, May 3rd. The kind of the direction I want this channel to go is I'm hoping that it can be a place where you can, kind of research companies or learn new things that pharmaceutical companies are doing. Not necessarily like how to make a profit investing in Pfizer, a week from now kind of thing, but just like what's coming down the tracks a year from now, 10 years from now. What are some things that are new that's coming to the pharmaceutical industry? And, maybe not necessarily a way to profit off of it, but that way you're just in the know. All right. So to start, Novartis merger with pharmaceutical and oncology businesses. They're structuring. They're kind of doing a restructure of their pharmaceutical and oncology sectors. They're basically just trying to decrease duplication in jobs. This is actually going to. They're expecting thousands of layoffs by the end of 2022. They're also talking about possibly spinning off the generic drug business Sandoz. The first quarter results are in for the company. Q1 sales growth of 5%. And I kind of just listed some of their bigger drugs there, and Entresto being a heart failure medication. All right, so here's kind of the cut and paste of their first quarter earnings. I won't dive too deep into this. You can read this over or find it on their website. The Q1 sales growth of 5%. There's key strong performance in their branded drugs, Entresto, Kesimpta, Cosentyx. Sandoz, their generic drug company, grew 8%. And you can read the rest of it. There, at the very bottom, there are some drugs that are and that's either been approved or soon to be approved. All right. The next one is Pfizer buys into Zentalis Pharmaceuticals. They're not the only ones. There's a couple other major pharmaceutical companies that are buying pipeline medications or being affiliated with these drugs. Um, so Zentalis is a company that's working on cancer treatments, and Zentalis will maintain full ownership of its pipeline. So here's a little about Zentalis. Zentalis Pharmaceuticals is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on discovering and developing small molecule therapeutics targeting fundamental biological pathways of cancers. The company is developing a broad pipeline of potentially best in class oncology candidates, all internally discovered, which includes, and they kind of give you a list here, the ZN-C3. Um, its clinical results have come out and they do look promising. Um, let's see. All right. So next up, Pfizer. It recalls Accupril. It's been generic for quite some time now. I guess Pfizer recalled it and the generics per cancer concerns. Um, like I said, this has been generic for a long time now, and there's a lot of alternatives. So this probably isn't quite that big of news. All right, and then some more Pfizer news. Pfizer seeks approval of booster shots for ages 5 through 11. Pfizer and BioNTech submit emergency use applications to the FDA on April 26th. Phase 2/3 trial showed strong immune response. The companies plan to submit similar applications to the EU regulatory agencies. All right. Another one, BioMarin records record profit in Q1. BioMarin, um, they produce first in class or best in class pharmaceuticals for kind of rare, sometimes genetic diseases. Um, So they had a revenue growth of 11%, year over year, 11%. And there's some drugs there on the docket, but just something to be aware of. Um, let's see, the one for severe hemophilia is waiting approval in the EU. It's currently under investigational review in the United States. It appears to be promising with an 84% reduction in bleeds. All right, and then for Merck, their Lageviro, an anti-viral COVID treatment, recorded 3.2 billion in sales. I think this has huge potential. I just like to imagine you know, COVID's going on for years, and every time you test positive for COVID, your physician writes you an order for this drug to take outpatient, pick up from your pharmacy. Kind of like how you might get a Z pack written by your doctor if you have an upper respiratory tract infection. Um, so I think there's huge potential here. I'm sure that other companies will come out with their own versions, but it should be interesting to see in the years to come how this works. The other one there, Keytruda, is a cancer treatment. Recorded 4.8 billion in sales, a growth of 23%. It has continued to gain approval for additional indications. Um, uh, the drug has a lot of potential. And then here are just kind of like a little snapshot of their first quarter financial results. Again, you can go onto their website to find all the numbers. Um, so Q1 2022 results reflect sustained strong business momentum with robust top and bottom line growth. The company announces Q1 worldwide sales of 15.9 billion, an increase of 50% from Q1 2021. Um, and then kind of just read the first sentence there from the CEO and President Robert Davis. We successfully delivered across our key strategic priorities and achieved strong top and bottom line growth. All right, another interesting company, Dragonfly Therapeutics. They're kind of coming at cancer therapies from your own immunity point of view. So they use what's called their Tri-NCET platform, which uses their natural killer cells to engage and kill cancer cells. It can be used with other approaches such as T cell therapies. And the way I understand it is, at least this is how CAR T is used, and I think this is how this Tri-NCET platform works too. Is they'll take your own blood and they will attach their therapeutics to your immunity cells, and they'll put the blood back into you a couple of weeks later. And so that way it's your own immune response that's kind of been enhanced to work against the cancer cells. They have several therapies in the pipeline, some of which are licensed by companies such as Merck, AbbVie, and just recently Gilead. All right, and then Teva, the world's largest generic drug manufacturer, um, first quarter 22 revenues decreased by 8% compared to Q1 2021. Basically, they're dealing with the fallout from the opioid crisis. You can see where they paid 1.1 billion in out-of-court settlements. And I'm seeing where it could get worse. There's just more coming down the road, so something to keep an eye out for sure. And then here again, a little snapshot of their first quarter financial results. Again, you can go onto their website to find these numbers and get them in more detail. Um, so I think that's it for this week. Feel free to leave a comment with anything you'd like to see covered, anything that you think that I could do better, or anything that I missed. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next week.